W friends in the chat. W friend.
Mind you, he was DMing me, mad because I had followed him. So anyway, skip time. I don't know. I don't even care. I'm not even dealing with the nigga. Don't talk to him. None of this shit. I'm actually with my real nigga. Like, you got broke on and you didn't even get to smell this, to pinch it, lick it, touch it. You didn't even get to kiss me. You didn't get to hug me. Why? Like, nigga, you got broke. You're a real trick, okay? You're a goofy trick at that.
Okay. The internet woke up today and shows chaos. And guess who lit the match and walked away smiling like the Joker, leaving Gotham in flames? Stunna girl didn't just poke the bear, she turned Chrisean rock into a trending topic without ever saying her name out loud. And somehow the whole internet still heard it loud and clear. This wasn't a diss track, this wasn't a live rant, this was something colder, slicker, and way more disrespectful. It felt like watching someone smile while pressing every emotional button they know exists, and then pretending it was all just fun. Because when Stunna girl decided to play online, it wasn't playful, it was surgical. Every post, every caption, every smirk felt like a calculated tap meant to echo across timelines. The internet didn't just catch every shot, it slowed it down, replayed it, zoomed in, and added captions that made the Kardashians look like amateurs at manufactured drama. And the craziest part is that none of this felt accidental. It felt like a leak without receipts, a shade session without fingerprints, and a mockery that somehow stayed just clean enough to go viral without crossing the line. And Chrisean rock? Silent, watching, letting the pressure build. Because when the internet smells tension and no one speaks, that's when things explode. And trust me, this was never going to stay small. To understand why this moment detonated the internet instead of quietly fading like yesterday's trending topic. You have to understand one brutal truth about online fame: nothing goes viral by accident anymore. Stunna girl didn't just wake up bored and decide to have fun. This wasn't random energy. This wasn't playful shade. This was the kind of calculated teasing that feels lighthearted on the surface, but hits like a pressure point if you know exactly where to poke. And when the internet realized who was being poked, the reaction was instant and explosive. Stunna girl has always played the role of the smiling menace, the type who laughs while chaos follows behind her like a loyal pet. She thrives in the gray area where she can claim innocence while still controlling the narrative. That's why her posts didn't scream Chrisean rock's name. They didn't need to. The timing, the tone, the expressions, the captions that felt just a little too specific all combined into something louder than a direct call out. It was shade without fingerprints, mockery without receipts. And that's the most dangerous kind. Chrisean rock's name has been synonymous with controversy for so long that the internet almost expects her to be involved in every storm, whether she started it or not. Her life plays out in viral chapters, each one messier than the last. And the audience has been trained to watch closely because something is always about to happen. So when Stunna girl's content started circulating, people didn't ask if it was about Chrisean. They asked how long it would take before it exploded. The blogs caught on first. They always do. Vague headlines started popping up, hinting at tension without confirming anything. Screenshots were reposted. Clips were slowed down. Captions were analyzed like they were secret codes. Suddenly, everyone became a digital detective, connecting dots that may or may not have been intentional, but felt too clean to be coincidence. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was a narrative forming in real time. And then there was the silence. Chrisean rock didn't respond. No live stream. No Instagram rant. No subtweet. Nothing. That silence hit harder than any clapback ever could, because silence in internet culture doesn't mean calm. It means calculation, exhaustion, or a storm loading its weapons. Fans couldn't tell which one it was, and that uncertainty fed the fire even more. People filled the gap with speculation, assumptions, and full-blown theories that spiraled faster than the truth could catch up. Some fans said Stunna girl was clout chasing, trying to borrow heat from Chrisean's never-ending spotlight. Others argued Stunna didn't need anyone's name to trend, that her personality alone was enough to stir engagement. Meanwhile, neutral observers pointed out the obvious truth everyone was dancing around. When two personalities built on chaos exist in the same digital space, collision is inevitable. It wasn't a matter of if. It was always a matter of when. What made this moment feel different, though, was Stunna Girl's demeanor. She didn't look defensive. She didn't look reactive. She looked entertained. Like someone watching a chessboard after moving a piece and knowing exactly how the opponent would respond. Her smile wasn't loud, but it was confident. And confidence during controversy is either the sign of someone completely unbothered or someone fully aware they've already won the first round. The comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Fans chose sides like it was a pay-per-view event. Memes started rolling in within hours, exaggerating the situation to absurd levels, because that's how the internet copes with tension. Laughing makes it easier to digest, even when the undertone is uncomfortable. And make no mistake, this wasn't just funny to everyone. For some, it felt disrespectful. For others, it felt deserved. And for a large portion of viewers, it felt like entertainment with no emotional attachment at all. That's the dangerous part about internet mockery. It doesn't care about context. It doesn't care about personal history. Once the audience smells drama, empathy becomes optional. The content becomes a spectacle, and the people involved become characters instead of humans. Stunna Girl knew this. Whether she admits it or not, she understands how quickly a moment can snowball when the right ingredients are present. Chrisean Rock's silence continued. And with every passing hour, anticipation grew thicker. People started asking not just whether she would respond, but how. Would it be explosive? Would it be emotional? Would it be calculated? Or would she stay quiet and let the internet tear itself apart without her lifting a finger? That uncertainty kept eyes glued to screens, refreshing timelines like something historic was about to drop. And in the middle of all this, the line between fun and cruelty started blurring. What one person saw as playful trolling, another saw as unnecessary provocation. That's the thing about just jokes online. They land differently depending on who's watching. And once enough people decide something feels personal, intent stops mattering. Perception takes over, and perception is the currency of virality. By the end of this first wave, one thing was clear. This wasn't going away quietly. The internet had locked in. The audience was invested. And Stunna Girl had successfully turned a few posts into a full-blown conversation without ever officially stepping into the ring. Whether she meant to or not, the stage was set, the tension was thick. And everyone knew the next move would determine whether this stayed playful or turned poisonous. Because when you poke someone the internet already watches closely, you're not just teasing them, you're teasing the entire audience. And once that audience feels entertained, offended, or emotionally invested, they don't let go easily. They demand a sequel. And this story, it was only getting started. Once the first wave hit, there was no turning back. The internet had already decided this wasn't just playful trolling anymore. It was a storyline, and everyone wanted front row seats. What started as a few eyebrow-raising posts mutated into a full-blown cultural moment, the kind that turns timelines into courtrooms and comment sections into battlefields. At that point, intent stopped mattering. The only thing that mattered was reaction, and reactions were multiplying faster than anyone could control. Memes arrived like clockwork. Within hours, people were remixing Stunna Girl's expressions, freezing frames, adding captions that ranged from clever to ruthless. Some memes framed her as the master troll, the villain who smiles while lighting matches. Others painted Chrisean Rock as the target of unnecessary provocation, turning her silence into a dramatic pause straight out of a reality TV finale. It was messy, hilarious, and uncomfortable all at once. Like watching a roast that no one officially agreed to attend. What made it worse was how perfectly this drama fit into the internet's favorite genre, messy women. Unresolved tension and plausible deniability. It had all the ingredients that keep engagement high and empathy low. People weren't just watching, they were participating. Every like felt like a vote. Every comment felt like a side being chosen. And every share poured more gasoline on a fire that was already burning out of control. Then came the reaction channels. You could practically hear microphones clicking on across the internet. Everyone suddenly had exclusive insight, inside sources, or context you're not hearing anywhere else. Some creators framed Stunna Girl as strategic, applauding her for stirring the pot without getting her hands dirty. Others accused her of intentionally poking someone they believed was already dealing with enough pressure. And somewhere in the middle were viewers who didn't care who was right as long as the content stayed entertaining. Celebrities didn't jump in directly, but their subtle engagement spoke volumes. A like here, a laughing emoji there, a repost that vanished after fans noticed it. In influencer culture, silence can be louder than statements, and micro-reactions often say more than full explanations. People read into everything. Who followed who? Who unfollowed who? Who stopped liking posts? Suddenly, social media activity was being treated like body language in a courtroom drama. The wildest part was how quickly the narrative started shifting. At first, Stunna Girl was seen as the instigator. Then, as the memes piled up, some people flipped the script and framed her as simply responding to a culture that rewards provocation. Others claimed Chrisean Rock's past controversies made her fair game. A dangerous argument that revealed how quickly the internet strips people of grace once they've been labeled problematic. Accountability blurred into entertainment, and empathy got lost somewhere in the algorithm. Meanwhile, Chrisean Rock's continued silence became its own storyline. Fans speculated wildly. Some said she was planning a calculated response. Others believed she was intentionally letting the internet eat itself alive. A few argued she was simply exhausted and refusing to feed the machine. Every theory felt plausible, which only deepened the tension. Because when someone known for reacting chooses not to, it forces everyone else to react for them. The humor grew sharper. Jokes became more pointed. What started as playful mockery crossed into territory that made even casual observers uncomfortable. Lines were tested. Screenshots circulated of comments that went too far, sparking mini debates about bullying versus trolling. But those debates never slowed the momentum. If anything, controversy within controversy only boosted engagement. Outrage thrives on layers. And this situation had plenty. Pop culture comparisons flooded the conversation. People compared the situation to reality TV feuds that spiraled beyond control, saying this made scripted drama look lazy. Others joked that if Chaos had a marketing team, this would be the campaign rollout. It felt like watching a digital soap opera where the audience not only watched but wrote half the dialogue themselves. Every refresh brought a new twist, a new take, a new reason to stay invested. And through it all, Stunna Girl remained visibly unbothered. That calmness acted like provocation in itself. In internet logic, looking amused while chaos unfolds is either iconic or incriminating. Depending on who you ask, she was either winning effortlessly or revealing a lack of empathy that people weren't sure how to feel about. The divide widened, and one sides are chosen online. There's rarely a path back to neutrality. By this point, the situation had outgrown its origin. It wasn't about a post or a caption anymore. It was about power, attention, and who controls the narrative when millions are watching. The internet had taken a moment and inflated it into a spectacle because that's what it does best. And everyone knew the next phase would be the most revealing. Eventually, every viral moment reaches the part no one laughs through. The memes slow down. The comment sections quiet just enough for reality to slip in. And that's when people start asking the uncomfortable questions they avoided while everything felt funny. Because once the internet finished playing with a story, it doesn't apologize. It just leaves the mess behind and scrolls on. For Stunna Girl, the aftermath arrived quietly but noticeably. The same confidence that looked iconic during the chaos started being read differently once the noise faded. Some fans still applauded her composure, framing her as someone who outplayed the system without ever raising her voice. Others began questioning whether staying amused while someone else became the center of mockery was really as harmless as it seemed. In internet culture, perception shifts fast, and yesterday's winner can easily become today's villain with one change in tone. Chrisean Rock's position in the narrative also evolved. Her silence, once interpreted as tension or strategy, began to look like something else entirely. To some, it read as restraint, a rare moment of choosing not to feed the machine. To others, it looked like exhaustion, the kind that comes from living under constant scrutiny where every reaction becomes a headline. The same behavior that once fueled speculation now inspired a strange mix of sympathy and curiosity. People started wondering not what she would say, but how much she had already said without opening her mouth. What made this fallout different was how it reshaped public perception without any official statements. No press releases. No tearful lives, no direct confrontations, just vibes, reactions, and the slow re-evaluation that happens when adrenaline wears off. Fans revisited the original posts with new eyes, noticing details they missed when the moment first went viral. What once felt playful started to feel pointed. What once felt entertaining started to feel unnecessary. And that shift mattered. Brands, collaborators, and casual observers also took note. In the influencer economy, controversy can boost numbers, but it also creates hesitation. People start weighing engagement against optics. No one says it out loud, but everyone thinks it. Is this moment worth aligning with? Is this energy something we want associated with our name? Those questions don't trend, but they quietly influence decisions long after the internet stops yelling. Meanwhile, Chrisean Rock's reputation remained complicated but resilient. She has been criticized, defended, ridiculed, and sympathized with more times than most public figures experience in a lifetime. This moment didn't break her image, but it added another layer to it. A chapter where she didn't react explosively. A moment where the chaos happened around her instead of because of her. And for an audience used to expecting fireworks, that absence of spectacle was strangely powerful. The internet, of course, didn't fully reflect. It rarely does. Instead, it slowly shifted focus to the next trending conflict, the next viral feud, the next person brave or foolish enough to step into the spotlight. But remnants of this moment lingered. References popped up in unrelated conversations. Memes resurfaced weeks later with new captions. The story didn't disappear. It just changed shape. For Stunna Girl, the lesson was subtle but significant. Controlling a narrative doesn't mean controlling its consequences. You can spark a moment, guide its tone, even enjoy the chaos it creates, but once the audience takes over, intention becomes irrelevant. What people feel lasts longer than what you meant. And in a space where emotions are amplified and memory is selective, those feelings can resurface when you least expect them. What this entire saga ultimately exposed was the fragile balance between entertainment and empathy. The internet rewards provocation, but it also watches closely for signs of cruelty. It cheers for boldness, then questions it. It laughs first, then reflects later, often too late to undo any damage done. And the people at the center of these moments are left to deal with whatever version of the story sticks. As the dust settled, one truth became impossible to ignore. This wasn't really about Stunna Girl or Chrisean Rock alone. It was about the culture that thrives on tension, feeds on silence, and turns human interactions into content. A culture where mockery is packaged as fun and restraint is treated as mystery. Where every moment is a potential headline and every reaction is monetized. And if there's one thing history has proven, it's that stories like this never truly end. They pause, they fade, they wait for the next trigger, the next post, the next look, the next moment someone decides to poke the internet and see what happens. Because in this world, attention is currency, chaos is entertainment, and calm is suspicious. And sooner or later, someone always decides to test the balance again. And just like that, the internet does what it always does best. It laughs, it judges, it moves on, and it pretends it didn't just spend days glued to a moment it helped explode. 1 minute it's just jokes, the next it's think pieces, broken narratives, and people wondering how things got so out of hand so fast. Funny how that works when chaos becomes content and everyone wants a front row seat. So now it's on you. Was this harmless trolling? Or did the line get crossed the moment millions started laughing at someone instead of with them? Did Stunna Girl play the game perfectly, or did she light a fire that burned brighter than expected? And did Chrisean Rock's silence speak louder than any rant ever could? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation doesn't end when the video does. That comment section is where the real verdict gets written. If this breakdown had you nodding, laughing, or side-eyeing your screen like yeah, that part, then smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit subscribe like you're securing front row seats to the next meltdown before it even trends. Because you already know these scandals don't slow down, they reload. We don't just cover viral moments here. We dissect them. We expose the games, the power moves, and the unspoken rules nobody wants to admit exist online. And trust me, this story isn't the last time these names will collide with controversy. The internet never forgets. It just waits. So stay locked in, stay curious, and stay ready. Because the next leak, the next shade session, the next it was just jokes moment is already loading. And when it drops, you'll hear it here first. Welcome to Celeb Insanity, where the drama never sleeps. The truth hides in plain sight, and the internet always tells on itself.